What's going on, guys? Today I'll be doing my first part in this NFL schedule breakdown. This is the NFC South edition. I'm going to do them first. We're going to go through, we're going to break down, I'm going to give you my reasons for everything, and yeah, let's get into it. So, week one, we got Bucs and Saints. So, Saints will be at home in this game. I think the Saints will take it in a really close one simply because of the Superdome. Now, if the NFL is playing without fans, this could go a completely different direction, but right now I got Saints 1-0. Raiders Saints, the Raiders improved, but not by much. As you'll see here, the Raiders were one of the worst teams in the NFL defensive wise. They had one of the worst defensive ratings. They're not going to be able to stop Drew Brees in that offense. 2-0 for the New Orleans Saints. Packers Saints, I don't think the Packers improved. I think the Packers actually just got older. I mean, they lost Blake Martinez, which wasn't a huge loss, and he wasn't a great linebacker. He was an okay linebacker, but he was pretty slow. They didn't add any receiver depth, none that was of note. They didn't draft a single receiver. Their offensive line is still one of the best in football, but the Saints improved at center. They drafted Cesar Ruiz, who can also play guard, big physical guy. One of my favorite prospects in the draft actually was Cesar Ruiz. The Saints got better. I think Saints go 3-0 here. Saints and Lions. Now, this could end up being an interesting one if Matthew Stafford is healthy and on the tear that he was last season. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Saints are going to be 4-0. Chargers Saints, it just depends really. At the Superdome at night, I don't think there's much of a chance really. Actually, Monday Night Football, 5-0 for the Saints. Panthers Saints, same thing. I mean, Panthers aren't a good team at all. They're just not a good team. 6-0 for the Saints. Bears Saints. Now, it just depends if Nick Foles, how he's playing, because Nick Foles is better than Mitchell Trubisky sometimes. Mitchell Trubisky is not a good quarterback, and Mitchell Trubisky would not win this game. Nick Foles would win this game. Nick Foles should have won in the Superdome with Philadelphia back in 2018, but Alshon Jeffrey dropped the ball, as we all know, and it got intercepted by Marshawn Lattimore. So I'm going to chalk this up as a win for the Saints, 7-0. Now here we go, Saints and Bucs. I'm assuming fans are going to be played at this time. Tom Brady and the Bucs. The Bucs had the 5th best defense via defensive efficiency ratings. And I think you pick up Tom Brady. I mean, you could pick up that experience. You get Chris Godwin, one of my favorite receivers in the draft. Tyler Johnson also went to the Bucs in the it was like the 7th, 6th, or 7th round, I believe. It might have been the 5th, but I mean it was late. I'm gonna talk about it as a win for the Bucs. So that's got us at 7-1 for the Saints. 49ers Saints. Last season's game was a really close one. And I think it'd be really close again. I think the 49ers take this one. So it'd be 7-2 for the Saints. Falcons Saints. Now this is gonna be a lot closer than people think. People will write off the Falcons this year, but they really improved. They got healthy. They picked up Todd Gurley, which is a wild card. He can be good, he can't be good. They picked up AJ Terrell, which was a bit of a reach, but they improved at their corner depth. They lost Austin Hooper, which is a loss, but it's not a big loss. I'm gonna focus this as a win for the Saints, but it's gonna be close, 8-2. Now this is another one of those wild card games. Broncos. I think the Broncos are gonna be a sleeper next year. It just all depends on Drew Lock. Now this could, outside of a dome, Drew Brees not in a dome, could be a win for the Broncos. However, I don't have the guts to say that, so I'm gonna go 9-2 Broncos. But right here. In Atlanta, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons win. 12 o'clock game, Matt Ryan against the Saints. They gave it a win, so it puts them down to 9-3, I believe, if I did that right. 9-3 with 4 games left. 9-3 with 4 games left. Yeah, I'm right. Saints and Eagles. I'm going to give the Saints a win here, although it will be a close game. I'm at 10-3. Chiefs Saints. I'm chalking this up as a win for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs not only got better by drafting Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who is a great pass catcher. He's not just a running back, he's also a pass catcher. All-around athlete, he can block. Great player, just only improves that offense. That's going to be a win, so that puts him at 10-4. Vikings, I think the Vikings, Kirk Cousins absolutely owns New Orleans after what we saw last year. They did lose Stephon Diggs, but they picked up Justin Jefferson, again, one of the best receivers in the draft. 10-5 for the Saints is what I got here, and then of course they'll beat the Panthers. Panthers are not good. It'll talk about 11-5 for the New Orleans Saints. Oops. So now we're gonna go into the Carolina Panthers. Week 1 against the Raiders. This will be an interesting one. I'm actually going to go with a win for the Panthers because I think Teddy Bridgewater and Matt Rule come out firing with a win. However, it's all going to go downhill after this. Lost to Tom Brady, lost to Tyrod Taylor in Los Angeles, lost to Kyler Murray, lost to Matt Ryan. So, I mean, I got y'all 1-4 right here. Bears Panthers at home. I'm gonna give Panthers the win, but the Bears could easily win that game. So 2-4. These next two games, I don't think the Panthers have a chance. 2-6. I mean, I don't really have to break it down. Panthers last season, one of the worst teams defensively in the league, and they got worse. I mean, they just got worse all around the board. Worst quarterback. Well, I mean, not a worse quarterback than Kyle Allen. They got Teddy Bridgewater, who's a mediocre at best quarterback. You didn't fix much of your offensive line issues. Wide receiver depth didn't really get fixed. I mean, DJ Moore's really good. Curtis Samuel is okay. It's an okay wide receiver core. So I've got them at right here. That was 2-4, 2-6. Yeah, I got them at 2-6. Obviously gonna lose to the Chiefs 2-7. Lose the Bucs 2-8. Lions, I'm gonna give them a win here. Make it 3-8. Vikings 3-9. Broncos 3-10. Packers 3-11. Redskins, I'm gonna give them a win here, but it could actually be really close. Actually, yeah, I'll give them the win here, and then I'll give them a loss right there as I gave the Saints the win. So 3-13 is what I've got the Panthers at. But look at the Bucs schedule. Now the Bucs are gonna be interesting. One of the best wide receiver cores in the NFL, behind the Cowboys, in my opinion. A top 5 defense via NFL defensive efficiency rating. They have one of the most explosive offenses. Jameis Winston just turned the ball over 40 times. This team got it a lot better by picking up Tom Brady over Jameis Winston. It's not that Jameis Winston's a lot worse than Tom Brady. It's just Tom Brady under. Sorry about that, my mic died, but it's not that Tom Brady's a lot worse than Jameis Winston, or a lot better than Jameis Winston. It's that Jameis Winston doesn't understand how to be a leader yet. He's still young. He's trigger happy. I mean, he's always been trigger happy. It was his issues in college. That's why a lot of people think Marcus Mariota should have gone number 1 over him. And that proved to be wrong. Barely. I mean, neither are on the team that drafted him in the top 2. So let's look at the schedule breakdown now. They play the Saints. Like I said, it was going to be a close one. I took that as a loss. Panthers, Bucs. I'm going to give that a win. Broncos, Bucs. I'm going to give that a win, but it's going to be a lot closer than people think. Chargers, Bucs. It's going to be a win. Bears, Bucs. Also going to be a close one, but I'm going to give the Bucs a win. 1-1. Packers, Bucs. It's in Tampa Bay. They're aggressing Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to give the Bucs a win here. 5-1. Raiders win. 6-1. Giants obviously a win. 7-1. I have them beating the Saints here, 8-1. Obviously going to beat the Panthers, 9-1. Gonna beat the Rams, 10-1. Gonna beat the Chiefs. No, it won't beat the Chiefs. It'll be 10-2. Vikings, Bucs. I'm gonna give the Bucs a win here, but it is 12 o'clock. Kirk Cousins, so right now I'm at 11-2, I believe. Falcons, Bucs. I give them the win there, 12-2, win there, 13-2, and then I'm gonna give them a loss here when they're resting their players. That'd be 13-3 for the Bucs. Now this very easily could drop down to 11-5 with the Saints. However, I'm very high on the Bucs this year. Great defense. Bruce Arians is a great coach, but it's very easily they could lose this Broncos game. They could lose this Bears game. They could drop another game. They could drop this game to the Saints. They could drop this game to the Vikings. Very easily this could be an 11-5 schedule, but I do think that it'll be 13-3. I think the Bucs will be one of the best teams in the NFC, if not the best team in the NFC. So now we'll look at the Atlanta Falcons schedule. This is a super interesting one. The Atlanta Falcons are a super interesting team. They got a lot better simply by playing a year with their team. I'm just going to bring up Matt Ryan's stats real quick. You're just going to see this. This is why I believe Matt Ryan's going to have an MVP type season. Look at these numbers. Every other year, you know why? New offensive coordinator right here. New offensive coordinator down here. Second year with an offensive coordinator, was the MVP of the league. New offensive coordinator had a down year. Second year with an offensive coordinator had a, I mean, that's MVP numbers. That's almost as good as his, that's almost as good as the MVP season. He wasn't talking about MVP because they weren't winning as much. And then new offensive coordinator. So, don't be surprised if Matt Ryan throws for 40 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and almost 5,000 yards. And has an over 100 passer rating. Not that I think the passer ratings are great numbers, but this is a Hall of Fame quarterback we're seeing right here in Matt Ryan. People forget this. The only issue with the Atlanta Falcons is their defense. Their defense is really their only issue. They were 20th in DVOA last year. If they can improve to about 16th, the Falcons can make a run for this. And I'm going to break down their schedule. Week 1 at home against the Seahawks. I'm giving them a win over the Seahawks. I did it. I'm giving them a win. I don't think the Seahawks have drafted well in the past few years. I think that's going to really showcase this year, especially losing Jadeveon Clowney if he does indeed leave. Of course, he's still on the fence right now. Week 2 versus Cowboys in Dallas. I'm going to give them a loss. Bears, I'm going to give them a victory here. Packers, I'm going to give them a loss. I got them at 2-2 right now. And then the Panthers win. In Minnesota, it's a loss. So right now, 3-3. Playing the Lions, it's a win. Panthers, they got a 5-3. Playing the Broncos, this could be a Broncos victory, but I'm going to go with the Falcons because I'm feeling confident, 6-3. I'm going to have them lose in the Superdome, 6-4. I'm going to have them beat the Raiders, 7-4. Beat the Saints, 8-4. Beat the Chargers, make them 9-4. And then, of course, we lost right here to make them 9-5. Lost against the Chiefs, make them 9-6. Beat the Bucs, 10-6 is my record for the Falcons. So if we adjust this, right here, as you can see, my records for the NFC South. I think the Bucs go 13-3, New Orleans Saints go 11-5, Falcons go 10-6, Panthers go 3-13. So that's just my initial breakdown, just based off DVOA stats and what I think can happen. I really think Matt Ryan, but I think Matt Ryan's gonna bounce back and have an MVP type season. I think he's really underrated right now. He's one of the top 8 quarterbacks in the NFL. You can argue. You can argue he's a top 6 quarterback. Really, you can argue he's better than Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, because I think he is. Of course, he had a little bit of a down year last year, but of course, it's first year with a new head coach. Or with a new offensive coordinator. And you saw the end of last season, the Atlanta Falcons beat the 49ers. They beat the Saints. They went on a nice run. They finished 7-9 after starting off the year really badly. They also beat the Eagles last year. They beat multiple defending champions. They have an easier schedule. So Bucs 13-3 could drop down to 11-5, and then the Saints 11-5, Falcons 10-6, and the Panthers worst team in the NFC South, arguably the worst team in the NFL, 3-13. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed watching this, let me know which division I should do next. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna do next. I might do the NFC North. That's what I think I'm gonna do. But if you have any suggestions or anything, just let me know in the comments below. And yeah, peace out. Like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.